Rolling Stone calls a critically acclaimed movie, The Hate U Give, an emotional powerhouse. Follows a teenager's journey to find her voice after she witnesses a white police officer shoot her best friend. The film was adapted from author Angie Thomas's debut novel of the same name. And the book is entering its 100th week on the New York Times bestseller list. You go, Angie. Thomas's highly anticipated follow-up novel, On the Come Up, is out today. It tells the story of 16-year-old Bree, an aspiring rapper who is trying to make it to support her family. 20th Century Fox just announced it will be adapted into a movie too. Angie Thomas joins us first on CBS This Morning. Good morning to you, best-selling author, lady person, and soon-to-be movie star.
Thank you.
But before we get into the interview, I saw some great video on Instagram of you. Could we roll that tape, please, Randy? I love this shot.
Oh my God! Look at my baby! The baby is here! I feel like I just gave birth!
Now, that's when you first saw your book in print, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I know, what a feeling that must be, to see your words on the page. You said you always wanted to write a hip-hop story. Why?
Well, you know, for me growing up, hip hop was how I saw myself. I didn't see myself a lot in books. You know, as a kid, I loved books, but as a teenager, I hated it because I rarely saw books about me. You know, like Twilight was big when I was a kid, and I have nothing against Twilight, but when I was a teenager, I was like, my mom would not let me date a 300-year-old vampire, so I couldn't connect with it, you know. So, but rappers,
Good mom.
yeah.
Yes. Good mom. Yes.
Yeah. But rappers told the stories I saw myself in. So that, for me, I wanted to talk to those kids who also see themselves in hip hop. So often they're called reluctant readers, and there's no such thing as a reluctant reader. They're just kids who haven't found the right book.
And you said you're not trying to create rappers, you're trying to create speakers.
Yes.
What do you mean?
You know, I don't want kids to pick up on the come up and think, oh, now I have to go be a rapper. That's what I'm supposed to do. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, but I hope that they walk away understanding that they have a voice and to use it, even when people judge you for how you use it, to speak up and speak out, you know, especially young black kids. So often they're criticized for how they say things as opposed to what they're saying. And I want them to know that you're fine just the way you are. Continue to speak up.
And clearly stories like yours resonate with so many people across the country, and they actually are profitable too, as we know, 100 weeks on the bestsellers list. What is your message to publishers about putting pressure on them to tell more of these stories, to pick up books like yours?
Well, I hope that they recognize that not only will black kids read, but other kids will read about black kids, and then other people will read about them as well.
Nora's kids are white and she loves them. Isn't that good?
Yes, yes.
She has white children and they think it's a good book.
Yes, absolutely. There's a academic named Dr. Rudine Sims Bishops, and she says that books are either mirrors, windows, or sliding glass doors. All three are just as important. So I hope publishing recognizes that.
Can I ask you about your own voice, which is that you were rejected 100 times for a previous children's book, which is just amazing. For any writer who's out there who's thinking about giving it up, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was a hard time. But, you know, it was rejected over 150 times. It's funny, too, because my agent was one of the agents who rejected it. And
now she's your agent?
Yeah, now he's my agent.
Oh,
yeah,
he's your agent?
Yeah, now we're good. But, but you know, I always tell everyone, it only takes one yes. I have writer friends who've been rejected 500 times. One yes can change everything. So one yes did it for me, and it was one yes through Twitter that did it for me.
What do you mean through Twitter? What do you mean?
My literary agent at the time, his agency held a question and answer session on Twitter, and I was working on The Hate U Give, and I simply asked if a topic like this was appropriate for a young adult novel, and he responded, and he was like, yeah, I'd like to read that. And I sent it to him, and he signed me. So something good came from Twitter.
That's great. Talk about Bree, who's a central character in this book, in your new book.
Yes, Bree is, for me, she's so many black girls. Bree has a voice, and she knows she has a voice, but sometimes she speaks without thinking. Sometimes she's a little impulsive. And her family has found themselves into a crisis all of a sudden because her mom has unexpectedly lost her job. But also Bree has these hip-hop aspirations, and she wants to make it. And she makes a song that goes viral for all the wrong reasons, and she finds herself in the center of a controversy too big to control. But as her family situation gets worse, she finds herself desperate to make it, even if it means becoming the very thing people have made her out to be.
And she says in the book, Nora, as you know, you can't have Bree without brilliant.
Yes.
And that's part of the rap. That's part of the rap. But I like how you break down your rapping process, because you Can you give some insight into that? The words come in your head and you do what with them?
You know, I go to rhyming dictionaries. But, you know, the thing about rap and about hip hop that a lot of people don't recognize is it takes skill. It takes skill to do that. And I wanted to give some insight into the skill set. You're not just rhyming random words. You want purpose with every single word that appears and meaning behind it. And so every single word that she chooses, she has a reason for doing that. And she wants to connect it so that in a way it's its own narrative. So in a lot of ways, rap is narrative fiction in its
Give us
own
Bree's
way.
best rap as we go to break.
Okay.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
give us a taste.
All right. No fallacies or spit maladies, causing fatalities and do it casually damaging rappers without bandaging or managing my own label, my own salary, and actually, factually, there's no MC that's as bad as me.
That doesn't make you go buy her book. I don't know what that is. Angie Thomas.
Angie Thomas.
Thank you.